Today, this is a very important day for railway history, but most importantly for Hamlet and Richmond County. You're going to hear from a multitude of people today, so I won't speak very long. I just want to thank you all. This is a great crowd for this ribbon cutting today, so we really appreciate you taking the time on a Friday evening to be here. But at this time, I would like to turn it over to the Mayor of Hamlet, Amy William, to kick us off today.
Good afternoon, and welcome everyone. It's good to see you here. We are gathered here today to recognize, once again, our rich history and heritage with the railroad. It is a history our residents are proud of, as they should be. Specifically, I am referring to the Seaboard Airline Locomotive 1114 and Caboose 5241. The collaborative effort between the nonprofit Hamlet Depot and Museum Board, the National Railroad Museum, and the City of Hamlet, along with the grant funds from the Foundation of the Carolinas, resulted in this freshly painted locomotive and caboose, and I thank each entity for the part they play. The locomotive and caboose will continue to be a cornerstone for visitors in our city park as they come to see this whole complex consisting of the historic depot, the visitor center, and the tornado building. Assembled with us today are speakers who will tell you about some history of the locomotive and the railroad, and I will let them do that as they are well qualified. Next up is the Richmond County Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Rick Watkins.
Thanks, Mayor Gwen. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's a great crowd today, and so thanks for taking time to come out and be a part of this event. We are excited. As a citizen of Hamlet, I'm thrilled. The engine and caboose look tremendous. This historic part of the downtown Hamlet area is something that we can all take pride in, and so I think that's great. As Chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, and my Vice Chair is here, Andy Grooms is here with us today. But as a member of the Board of Commissioners, I want to say congratulations to the City of Hamlet, to the Mayor and City Council here, and everybody who works in the administrative part of what happens with city government. And just congratulate them on the work and the diligence necessary to make this happen, to gather the grant funding and to do those things. Now, you know, having lived in Hamlet for many, many years, when Cindy and I first bought our first home in Hamlet, virtually every person on my street worked for the railroad or were retired from the railroad. Some of them started shoveling coal as firemen in the engines, and they would tell those stories. Some worked as conductors, and I think I participated in the very first conductors competition that was held at the first Seaboard Festival in Hamlet. And boy, that was exciting because some of those old conductors got on there and called every stop just like they were on the train from Hamlet all the way to Raleigh. And so, you know, railroading here is so important. If you think about it, the train station itself arrived in 1900. Around 1930, it was named the hub of the Seaboard Airline Railroad. And most everything, they had a division office here. And once they located the division office, it became a tremendous economic driver for the city of Hamlet and of all Richmond County. So just tremendous in terms of economic development. You know, when you think about World War II, almost every troop who came out and had to ship out on the East Coast, they came through the rail station in Hamlet as they went on the troop trains to head out and to defend our freedom overseas. So it is a great day that we have a chance to gather and to celebrate, and thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of it. And I will turn it over to my good friend, Chuck Craven.
Thank you, sir. All right. Welcome, all the railroad aficionados from Hamlet and surrounding areas. I'm Chuck Craven. I am the lowest ranking member of the National Railroad Museum and Hall of Fame. Okay. America's Got Talent. As I said, I am the lowest ranking member of the Board of Directors for the Railroad Museum. And I'm going to blame the Vice President of the Board, my Uncle William Billingsley, who, one of the smartest men that I've ever known, he was responsible for the plaques that you'll see on the caboose as well as 1114. And the fact that he selected me to come up here and talk, notwithstanding, again, one of the smartest men I've ever known, he'll be celebrating his 93rd birthday in about 36 hours. He didn't say that. He didn't want me to say it. My part here is to basically kind of give you an overview of the association between the Railroad Museum and the engine and caboose you see behind us. The Railroad Museum was incorporated in 1976, became fully operational in 77. We've had several sites around the town. Many of you would know that better than I would because I was gone for 40 years. But in the process of moving around, we always had an affinity, obviously, for the railroad, the history, and the people of Hamlet. Nothing, as Mr. Watkins said, nothing represents the history of Hamlet better than the railroad, and more specifically, a specific tangible item that you have, such as what we have here behind us. Now, how did we get that? Julius Kroll was president of the Railroad Museum in 1991. This engine went out of commission or quit serving. The last run was April 13th of 1990. Little side note, Bobby Brigman, many of you know Bobby Brigman. I talked to him, and he couldn't make it today. He's living in Charlotte, but he wanted to convey his good wishes to everybody, and just to let you know that this engine never let him down, that he was proud to drive it, proud to run it, and he was the last engineer, is my understanding, he was the last engineer to pull it into the yard. So that was Bobby Brigman. But, getting back to Julius Kroll. When I went through this history of 1114, and we'll pass around if anybody wants to see it with the permission of my president, Mr. Tim Nevinger, who I don't think knows that I confiscated this from the files of the Railroad Museum, but I didn't know anything to talk about, so this book has all the information. But Julius Kroll, when he found that the 1114 had been basically decommissioned and it had been relegated to yard work for a while, for a few months, CSX was going to scrap it, sell it off for parts. Well, he couldn't have that. So he approached him in a diplomatic way. Hey, Railroad Museum would like to have it. Nah, can't do it. Better off selling it for parts. Okay, so he went the next step. He contacted Jacksonville, Florida. People in Jacksonville, Florida told him, can't be done. In all the history of the time that we've had engines like this, and we've had requests all the time of engines, cabooses, only one time in the history of this particular individual had that ever been granted, and he said it was a grandson of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad that got it. Mr. Kroll was relentless. And he continued to write, he continued to campaign, he solicited assistance from Congressman Bill Hefner, who many of you, I remember, many of you will remember. Congressman Hefner got involved, State Senator Richard Condor, again, many of you remember, got involved. Also, our mayor at the time, and this was October of 1991, Ms. Abby Covington, who just happens to be here, strongly involved, and between all of those efforts, we were able to get 1114. If it weren't for those people, you wouldn't be seeing it here today. So, I believe Mr. Tyree Massey is going to give you a rendition of the general history, the number changes, the organizational changes that the engine went through. But just wanted to let you know, just to remind you that if it weren't for the people, there'd be no engine. Thank you.
Mr. Kim.
I'm just happy to be here today. I came to Ribbion County in June of 1955. I've been coming June, been a resident of Ribbion County for 70 years. I've seen a lot of good things happen here during that period of time. And I'd just like to say that thank you for the invitation, and the mayor and others that are here, Chairman Watkins, and I was looking forward for this time, and what I see and what has been accomplished over these many years, I just say it's such that I don't really need to say a whole lot more, but I do want to make a few comments pertaining to some of the projects that's here. There's Mayor Abby Covington and I and some others started the process of redoing the depot. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time when I was a member of the board of highway Commission, or actually the Transportation, North Carolina Department of Transportation, and the Secretary of the Rail Division said to me, said, we have $460,000 sitting in here. What do you want to do about the building in Hamlet? I said, we need to do something because it's going to soon fall apart the way it hadn't been used in some time. Well, I said, well, let's just see what the city of Hamlet wants to do about it. And through working together, and there was money available through federal funds that were handed down to the state for restoration of these types of buildings. And so at that time, the Hamlet had to come forth with a certain amount of upfront money, and it could be in different ways. And so without any further, what you see over there today is what is happening through unity, cooperation, effort, and desire. And I'm just happy to say that I have been a part of that, and I have been very interested particularly for the last 25 or so years to the things that have taken place. And you see all the many other things around here that improvements that have been made. And this is what we're here today for, is to put the ribbon on this. And I follow this along, and what I can see is a bang-up job of the work that they did. And I coordinated a lot of times with, or I got that reversed. Angie coordinated with me about prices and things like that, and I was just happy to be a part of it. And so I'm just saying that it's amazing what things can be done when you work together and have the same desire, and it's an accomplishment that can be made. And I don't want to get into calling names, but I do want to thank Abby Covington for her part during the time that we were making this possible. And I said we can use the money that comes from that's available, and it ended up being roughly $11 million. So what you see now is about hard work, unity, and cooperation of the city, the community, and all those that were involved. And this is no exception. This is a beautiful job. And I thank you for allowing my wife and I to be here, my wife Kay. And many of you know her, and nonetheless, I hope you have an opportunity to speak to her. So anyway, I want to say one last thing. Michelle, you've got a premium person. I mean, she's so nice to work with. She's so enthused over what she's doing. And the last 4 or 5 years she's been here, there's been a lot of accomplishment. And I want to thank you, Michelle, for giving me the opportunity to work with you. Like one last thing, when I came here, came to a railroad city, what was new to me, it's all been a learning process about the railroad, and I'm grateful for that. And thank you for blessing me with some things. Thank you very much.
Volunteer down here said what I'm going to speak about shouldn't take much more than an hour. I'm going to give you a little bit more history. This locomotive was built by General Motors Corporation in 1964 for the Seaboard. It was built as a backup passenger engine for some of their mail trains and not so high priority passenger trains. It got relegated after the 70s as Amtrak took over. It got relegated to freight service and then the yard service. The caboose was built in 1924. I think Sam Ballard back there was the first one to ride on it. It was a wooden caboose. Metal frames were put on it in 1957. And with We're happy with how everything turned out. I want to also thank Michelle. She does a great job down here. Me and her have argued and fought over this engine to the point people think we're married. We argue and scream at each other so loud. But Michelle does a fantastic job down here with these events and the music in the park and the picnics and the band and all this. Without her help, we would have got none of this done. So Michelle and Angie too. Just want to thank them. Oh, we have some magnets and cookies
Under the shelter.
under the shelter. Stick around. We have a band that's going to play.
Food truck.
Food trucks. So hang out with us a while.
Good job, Tyler. Hey, good afternoon. My name is Angie Oakwood, and I'm proud to be a part of this organization. The Hamlet Historic Depot is the nonprofit that operates inside of this beautiful building. So we have a group. Everybody that's on the board, raise your hand. All right, these guys are here. We operate the gift shop. We make sure that everything gets done on the weekends, and we're part of the team that keeps the legacy alive. This place was here, and it's our goal to make this place better when we left it than when we found it. That's a big, tall order, considering everything that's been done. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this. And we'll hope after we do the little ribbon cutting that you'll take time. We're proud this thing is open once we finish. And you can come aboard. If you haven't ever been in a locomotive or a caboose and seen it from an engineer and conductor's vantage point, it's worth the trip. And people talk about railroading and how hard it is, and it's not for the faint of heart. It's a labor of love. You either love it or you don't, but it gets in your blood. And after 38 years, I'm still here 7 years after that. That means I started when I was 10. I'm still here keeping the legacy alive. So thank you.
Hey, it's time to cut this ribbon. Thank you everybody again for being here. Thanks to everyone who spoke. It was very nice to hear the history of this. I need the Hamlet Depot board member. If you are a Hamlet Depot board member, we need you for the picture. Hamlet City Council, we need you for the picture. And Richmond County Chamber board members, we need you for the picture. So please step forward if you are a member of any of those three entities. Yes, Tyree, that means you. So Depot board member, Hamlet City Council, and National Railroad board member. Chamber, you're not a chamber. Behind the ribbon. Everybody needs to get behind the ribbon. And anybody that spoke. Chuck, that means you. Everybody behind. Amy.
Shirley.
Y'all gotta act like you like You gonna cut it? Alright, this thing is really sharp.
Alright. Do I get a 1, 2, 3 or?
Carson, you gonna do a 1, 2, 3?
Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3.
They usually keep this in frame.
No, no. Still got trouble. It's all the same.
Letter B from